This shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. I feel like I'm JX. J-Way. I'm a perfectionist. Adderall got me restless. I'm gone. Run with a wild crew, they get reckless. Young boy, come up off that neck. Into the trends. See you lead be the band.
Man, there's something about that song, man, that get me hyped up, man. Get Your Lick Back by Foster featuring Times and C Steel, man. Go check that out. It's on all streaming platforms. And while I'm promoting that, let me promote our stuff here. Subscribe to Bleachers and Speakers on YouTube and follow us on all podcast aggregators. If you don't want to watch us, you can definitely listen to us on those podcast aggregators. All you have to do is type in Bleachers and Speakers, FFSN in the search. Find us. Make sure you're following us and hit that notification bell so when we drop new content, you'll get an alert and download those episodes. They don't take up no space at all. You can delete them later, but we need those download credits. Foster, it is game day. And there's two things I don't like about this game day being on prime time, being at 8 o'clock at night. For one, I don't like to wait all day to watch the Lions play. I don't. I don't even like when they play at 4 o'clock, but it is what it is. However, if you get a lot of those 4 o'clock games and a lot of those 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock Sunday, that means your ball club is doing something right because they're putting you in the prime time slots. So one thing's for certain, everybody that's a football fan is going to tune in to one game and one game only on Sunday night, and that's the Sunday night game. And there's so much buzz about the Lions right now, and it's just not because they're 7-1. This has been going on since last year and the year before that, the second half of the season where everybody was paying attention to the Lions. The Lions have definitely gained the attention of others in the league. The league is on notice. It's a lot of good things going on. There was even a person reported there was a plane boarding for Houston, and there was a guy that bought everybody with Lions gear on a drink on the flight.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? This is what's going on nowadays in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Sellis says, praise Foster. Hey, Sellis, we got to talk, man. We can't do that, man. That does too much for his ego, bro. We're not doing it. Good morning, Sellis. Thank you for being here. Tonight, Lions play Houston Texans. How you feeling about tonight? And I'm going to say this, though. No Taylor Decker. That's the big thing about our starting left tackle will not play tonight. What do you think about tonight, Foster?
Well, first and foremost, the theme of the day is Detroit versus Houston all day. The Pistons play Houston at home against the Houston Rockets. So it's a full-on attack on Houston all day. And there's some compelling storylines. We got the return of J-Mo. Taylor Decker is obviously out, and I believe Tank Dell is going to suit up today as well. So they're definitely putting their best foot forward. Once again, the Lions are without a couple key guys. But
it seems like that every game. There's a key person missing every game. And Nico Collins has been activated too for Houston.
Yeah. And I always get Tank Dell and Nico Collins mixed up for some weird reason. But they're both playing today.
Yes, absolutely.
Stephon Diggs is out, but Tank Dell and Nico Collins are playing. And, as soon as we can get somebody back, we'll have another set of guys missed with some injuries. It also looks like Zadarius Smith is not expected to play, but I don't know. It's tough to say. So,
well, here's the thing about Zadarius Smith, and for those that's going to worry about him not playing, this was a move made not for this week. It's for the rest of the season. I mean, it is what it is. If he doesn't play, he doesn't play. That doesn't make any bearance make or break what the Lions are going to do today. We've the Lions have been winning with this so-called lack of pressure since Aiden Hutchinson has been gone, and they've held up pretty good. So I don't foresee him being the reason, him not playing be the reason for a loss if there was one. So I think I think today's game boils down to whether the Lions can protect from that pass rush. Um, it's all on the offense. It depends on what the offense can do against this Houston Texans defense. I actually think highly of their defensive front, and I think highly of their young corners. They're very aggressive corners, and they've been holding up. But it just depends on what the Lions offense can do today. I don't think it has anything to do with the pass rush. They're going to have to get a pass rush though, but at the same time, I just think it's just more to. I think the offense has to do what they got to do today. Only racist, confused Dale and Collins. Hey, man.
I don't watch the Texans. I just see them on the
club. I mean, Sella says Stack Almighty said we should have traded a first and second round.
At this moment, I didn't know. Oh, shit.
At this moment, I knew he didn't know. He not Foster. You know, Stack makes some very, very wild takes on the Lions, and I take it as he's just passionate about the Lions, and he's a person of the moment. He'll just say some crazy stuff. I respect it, but it just a lot of stuff is kind of like a wild take. Like I remember when Stack said, "Take Khalif Raymond out the game," and then right immediately after that, he started making plays. Like, pardon me, but yeah, he definitely has some wild takes. He has some very strong takes. We knew and I can understand why you would say trade a first and a second, because if the Lions are doing well, that first round is going to be deep off into the 20s. So it's like a second round. So yeah. But at the same time, they're doing good with what they have. I understand the reasoning of not salvaging a first round pick when you can pick up somebody like Zadarius Smith with a 5th and 6th round pick. So Casella says he don't know nothing about football. He got to stick with tennis and battle rap. Hey, I didn't know he knew much about tennis, but okay. Yeah, I'm fine with them now. I honestly said, and I said this on the show, Foster, I didn't think they were going to make a move. I thought the Lions were going to stand pat unless a blockbuster deal came across the desk, pause if applicable. Something was ran back past the Lions that I offered that they couldn't refuse. But other than that, I thought they were going to stand pat with what they did. Now, I'm not saying they needed to stand pat. I'm just saying what I thought they were going to do. So getting Zadarius Smith to me was a bonus.
Yeah. I mean, I think my initial take was there was just too much smoke. There was too many, tweets were flying because we don't know how long these things take. It's obvious that Zadarius Smith knew something or knew there was some type of communication, because he started his Detroit stuff probably a week or so before it was official. So I figured that, especially as the team got more and more beat down, I mean, Pascal ended up getting sick, and I was like, all right, that's it, right?
It's enough already.
So yeah, I thought there was too much smoke. Obviously, I thought it was a long shot to get a Crosby or a Myles Garrett, but
yeah.
I think we've done plenty with the Zadarius Smith thing. He's already getting acclimated. He's been to his first Pistons game. He's got his free burgers from Bar Louie.
Hey.
So yeah, he's getting well adjusted, and hopefully we get a chance to see him. There are conflicting reports as far as whether he'll play today, but this is another big one to two teams that have one team that has not lost on the road and one team that has not lost at home. So
something got to give.
yeah, somebody's fortune is going to change in that regard, and may the best man win, but the world will certainly be watching.
The only thing I'm concerned with when it comes to Zadarius Smith is, I mean, and that has nothing to do with just playing today, is whether or not he corrects himself. He said, "What's up, though?" So we hope he gets. we
I,
hope.
I think as far as written wise, I think he's already adjusted himself in that way.
Okay.
We'll see how the verbal
Yeah,
translation comes out.
yeah. Take the ass off there, sir. It's what up though. Not.
Honest mistake. Honest
Yeah, it was
mistake.
honest. He said it with the buffs on and everything. Like he had on the blue buffs. He's at the game. Like, look, bro. Like they going crazy in Detroit. Like the game versus the Lakers, everybody was in the building. Uh, well, when the Pistons played the Lakers, the Detroit Lions were in the building. It's a crazy time for Detroit Lions football.
And I didn't get a chance to mention it, but I like what Montgomery said. He corrected what Greg Kelser said. We know that the Lakers brought you out. And he said, no, no, no. The Pistons brought us out. Don't do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Get it right. Get it
Especially,
right.
especially after we handedly beat them, there was no need to give the Lakers credit, man. And,
No,
take
no.
your ass back to LA.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like, I mean, we waited for how long for this type of like consistency from the Lions? Like we've had let's not get it twisted. It hasn't been a bad season every single season from Detroit the past 20 years, but
Right.
there's been a lot of bad and a few good. You know what I'm saying? More letdowns than successes for sure. But we waited a long time to feel this confident and this proud, to be this proud about this team going forward. And I think a lot of the credit goes to the GM and the hire of Campbell. Like I would, again, me going against the grain. I was not a big fan of Campbell being hired. I didn't buy into the biting kneecaps stuff. I didn't. I was like, oh, he's trying to say something. And in the first season, it was like, yeah, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's over his head. But they started to develop an identity and they started playing to a standard. And like I said, this just didn't happen last year. We can go back to the year before that, the second half of the season where they went 8-2 to finish, and people were talking about the Lions, and you can see the effort, you can see the swagger, you can see the improvement. So last year at the beginning of the season, we kind of felt like this team is going to be good, and then we lost to Frisco in the playoffs. We kind of felt like next year we'll be back, and we're 7-1 to start the season. So things are going on par. Things are going on par. And the game that we lost versus Tampa Bay was a competitive game. I think a few plays were left on the field, but it's a very competitive game. I haven't watched much about the Houston Texans, but we'll take a quick break here. If you're watching, we'll be back in like 5 or 6 seconds, maybe 10 seconds. But if you're listening, you're going to hear some wonderful ads. But we'll get back and we'll talk more about the Texans because maybe you know more about them than I do, Foster. I do know the a couple of key positions, but we'll talk more about we'll take a look at the Texans after this break. Okay. The Lions are at Houston. Foster, what are we facing playing the Houston Texans?
Well, the things that jump out at me the most is their edge rushers, which one of them we will not have to worry about. Will Anderson has been ruled out of this game. So that's one key player that we don't have to focus on. But somebody that we know very well, Daniil Hunter, is manning that other side. He's coming in with 5.5 sacks off the edge. And overall, this team is very strong. The secondary tackles very well. They do not allow a lot of yards after the catch. And Yeah, they're third in the league. The pass against the pass, they got a couple of young guys in the secondary, Kamari Lassiter and Kalen Bullock, and
Stingley as well.
they have Stingley as well at the corner position. Was drafted a couple years ago, I want to say.
Out of LSU, yes.
Yes, and then they have a Jimmy Ward who originally played for the 49ers. So um, obviously we're familiar with Jimmy Ward from playing against him last year. But this is a pretty sound group, and they don't have a ton of injuries to speak on. It looks like Jeff Okudah is questionable for the game, so I know he would love to suit up against his old team.
I would love him to suit up too.
Yeah, it'll be I don't want to go out there and say we're just going to go and pick on him or anything, but certainly makes for a nice little storyline. The other notable injury that I can speak on is Pierce, who is their power back. Obviously, Joe Mixon is their primary guy, and he's been strong this year. But Dameon Pierce is their power back, and he was pretty good for them last year. So, because this team has a pretty balanced attack. They're pretty much middle of the pack, but a lot of that is due to the fact that their offensive line has not lived up to has not carried their end of the bargain. But we certainly have to still be aware of C.J. Stroud and like we said, they're gonna have Nico Collins, they're gonna have Tank Dell, they're gonna have Dalton Schultz, their tight end. So it's gonna be a tough fall game. Salute to Detroit Love, who was a new subscriber in the building.
Yeah, I was gonna read his comment as well.
But yeah, they it's really the defense and their pass rush, and their pass rush doesn't stop just after Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter. They even got an inside tackle, Tim Settle, who has 4 sacks, which is a ton of sacks for an interior defensive lineman. I mean, that's so they definitely pride themselves on getting after the quarterback, and for how much of a groove Jared Goff has been in, it's going to be imperative that we protect him, because if you think that the offensive line and protection hasn't been a contributor to his accuracy, you're wrong. Because when you're constantly being hurried and you got hands in your face and people barreling down on you, that is going to affect your accuracy and just your window to find the guys that you're looking for.
Yeah, Detroit Love says Lions devour on 3. 1, 2, 3, devour. Detroit Lions, hashtag NFL, hashtag Kings of the North. I know somebody that's watching who won't like that, Dave. And hashtag Houston Texans. I haven't had a chance to give anybody a Lions roar, but shout out to Detroit Love, our new subscriber. We appreciate the subscription. You subscribe, and we also appreciate you being here. Thank you, sir. Mr. My City, my boy, he says Houston's pass rush will only be effective a few times, I believe. Once we establish our run, it's a wrap. And that was my next point, Foster. Do you think the Lions will be able to run against this defense? I don't know much about their rush defense. So, do you think the Lions will be able to run?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't literally like to see it, but I'm gonna have to see it to believe that anybody can stop us in the entire league. So,
okay, talk your stuff, Foster.
Yeah, and we're so balanced that we have the ability to work in reverse if need be. It might be a matter of sending some guys out and stretching the field and forcing them to put some help in the defensive backfield, which will certainly open up some lanes for Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery. So, although we've kind of downplayed the impact that Jamison Williams it has on our team, now that we have him, back under our belt, we will certainly utilize him to open things up, and that's going to mean more opportunities for Sam Laporta and everybody else. So, Yeah, the Houston the Texans definitely have their biggest test um, defensively with what we got to bring.
Yeah. And we do have, when you mentioned spreading the offense, the defense out with multiple receivers. We got JMO back today. Um, I think Allen Robinson played a little bit last game. We got Tim Patrick, Khalif Raymond is playing some good ball. So yeah, we do have the receivers to to do stuff like that. And also, I want to know, Foster, did you see the latest tweet? I don't know if it's the latest tweet, but did you see the tweet yesterday by Isaiah Williams?
I almost was like, do I even mention this? But he was cut from the team.
Yes.
So what? Just break the news to me. I don't know.
The tweet was, "No, what did I do?"
Oh,
I felt so bad for him.
that's messed up. I'm not
That's
gonna lie.
messed up.
But you know what it is though? It's just a numbers game,
It's a numbers
and
game. That's all it
and
was.
I don't know if he I'm not sure if he contributed anyway with any catches or anything, but
No.
no, okay. But if he's 21-day window is open, it's a perfect parlay to that. The window is open now on Emmanuel Mosley and Ife Melifonwu. Jameson Williams has now back with the team, so it's just one of those things.
And you brought on Zadarius Smith.
And our receiving, yes, this is Zadarius Smith, not to cut your wisdom, but the receiving core is the most healthy unit that we have.
Yeah.
So with our depleted linebacker unit, our the offensive line's pretty healthy outside of Decker, but yeah, we're just getting healthier in other ways. The secondary is getting more healthy. So yeah, just a numbers game, and yeah, very unfortunate. I thought you were gonna say I thought he like maybe dogged us. I was like, wow.
No, he was just
upset or
he made it seem like he was in shock, but I'd be having a feeling like they know.
I'm sure that they know
ahead of time. It wasn't just they woke up and saw a tweet that they were cut.
But that's your opportunity. That's your little publicity opportunity because I'm sure Isaiah Williams tweets don't hit the mainstream or but those are the type of tweets that you see heavily liked and retweeted, and it's like, oh, Isaiah Williams, I don't even follow him, but here he is on my timeline. So
yeah, it's kind of it was kind of crazy to see that. I felt for him. I felt bad about it. I was like, oh man, here we go. And we had high hopes for him. Salute to Isaiah Williams in his future endeavors. Hopefully, he can stay on get on the practice squad and stay within the team. And if not, good luck to you, brother. Mr. Mind City says, speaking of parlay, Patrick plus 1+ TD, Montgomery 2+. Just saying that's enough to win right there. Houston won't score 3 touchdowns. I would hope not. That would be pretty good to keep. I mean, have they had like a crazy offensive game yet this season?
I would venture to say. I mean, I'd have to look it up.
I don't think so. I think looking at them against our division, they didn't have an crazy offensive day versus the Bears. They didn't score. I don't think they scored a touchdown versus Minnesota. They got beat pretty bad soundly by Minnesota. I mean, not saying that has any bearing on what every Sunday is different. So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, as far as consistency amongst their offense, I don't remember seeing any crazy offensive numbers from them scoring wise.
Well, let's see here. It looks like they put up 41 on New England, which is par for the course.
Okay. What else?
29 on Indy.
Okay.
Yeah. 24 versus the Jags. It looks like they flirt around 22 points a game, though, honestly.
But you said their highest point total was versus New England.
41, though. But yes.
It's New England.
Yeah.
It's very easy to put up points against someone that doesn't move the ball. No, I don't care how how decent your defense is. If your defense is out there a lot, you have more opportunities to score. Whether whether it's and if your offense is not moving the ball, if they're turning the ball over, you can score more points. So, New England is just a train wreck right now.
I agree.
24 versus the Jags. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think the Jags are all that, or I don't know. That's
Colts on defense.
The Jags were 0-4 going into that game, or no, 0-3 going into that game. The Colts were that was the first game of the year, that was the first game of the year.
Mr. My City seems to agree with me. They put up 41 on New England, but that's New England.
Oh,
my thoughts exactly.
I mean, that team is going to get it's probably going to get, what's his name, from Colorado.
Yeah.
Travis
wait, hold on. Mr. My City, did you just say Patrick was going to score a touchdown?
He snuck that in there. You were like, okay.
Wait. Let me read that again. Patrick 1+ TD. Now, that's very interesting and a very good call out. Very interesting call out because Patrick hasn't scored yet for the Lions. That's a pretty bold prediction.
But he said, speaking of parlay, so I think, which of course, when the odds are low, he's trying to make some cheese today.
Oh, for sure. It takes money to make money. You gotta step out of it. I'm pretty sure that to put him on one of your parlays, that just makes that makes the winnings that much bigger if you win. So that's interesting though. I would love to see Patrick score. I wouldn't suspect he wouldn't be the first one I put on that list though. I think J-Mo's going to score today. I have a feeling St. Brown is going to score today, and I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to score a couple of times today.
Ooh, is it a route today?
I don't think it's a route, but I think because
that's 4 touchdowns right there, right?
I think the speed of Gibbs makes all the difference in the world in this game. I could be wrong, but hey, let's see. Let's see. What did Mr. My City say? Every time I take J-Mo, he gets no targets. You know what? But it's just the opposite for me, Mr. My City. Whenever I say he's going to do something, it happens. So I don't know. I do expect some output from today. The biggest thing is their corners. And I'm going to say Lassiter, he's a physical corner, but he's not fleet of foot. He's a good athlete. Probably runs about a 4.5. That was the knock on him going into the draft. Can he run a good 40 times? So there was questions about his speed. The other corner, the overall team defensive speed, I'm not quite sure of. And I think when it comes to speed, you got Gibbs, J-Mo. Them two on the field at the same time can make you just like back the hell up, right? And that'll give Gibbs more time, more space to operate. You know what I'm saying? You can get him out on the edges and stuff like that. So, yeah. I mean, I just think it'll be a problem. I think the Detroit speed on offense is going to give them problems. Detroit Love says, Houston, you have a problem. That's the thing, man. I can't stand these 8:00 games, man. I'm ready to watch football. I'm ready to go upstairs, cut this stuff off, go upstairs and watch all the previews and get ready for a 1:00. But, oh well, let's take another quick break. And when we come back, we'll wrap this up. Foster, you think we're going to do a show tonight? Think about that one during the break. Hold on. We're back. Foster's probably above 86.5% today. He was 86.5 yesterday. I'm hoping he's better today. And I asked him a question before the break. He had about 20 seconds to think about it. But do you think we're going to do a show tonight after the game? It's going to be late. I'm off tomorrow, so I don't care. I'm willing to do whatever. So
Yeah, I think I'm committed to doing the show.
well, hold on. Now, will you be indulging in alcoholic beverages during the game?
No, I've been relaxing all week. I had a few little brews.
That makes a difference because I know I'm gonna have me a drink or two, but I'm not gonna get like wasted unless they drive me to drink.
Right.
I don't expect.
right. Hey,
like, oh man, what are they doing?
Can you stall for like 3 minutes?
I can try.
Yeah,
I can try. Foster, you put me on the spot. You put me on the spot, bro.
I'll be right back.
All right. So I have been left with the duty to filibuster why Foster is going for 3 minutes. He puts me on the spot like this all the time. And I'm starting to wonder if he tested my gangster. But I'm going to go through this. First off, I want to say Detroit are going to, if anybody's out there watching, if you can give me the line on tonight's game versus Houston. Mr. My City says, I hear Smith isn't playing today, so no pass rush. I expect McNeil to get a few pressures, but I don't see it being consistent enough to really throw off Stroud. I'm no expert, though. I didn't think he were – you know what tipped me off with Smith not playing? And I've been joking around with this saying he's playing because he had on the buffs. I said Bluffs. He had on the buffs during the game, and he didn't get to Detroit until Friday, right? So I don't think you put any player in there unless you're desperate to play without any kind of practice whatsoever. So I think this is like one of those things where we're not going to throw him into the fire. Detroit is 7-1. There's no reason to put him out there like that. If they lose because of the pass rush, so be it. But at 7-1, you don't risk. You can actually get someone hurt putting them out there that's not prepared. So I don't think there were any rush to put him in. This was not a move of desperation. Acquiring Smith was one that was going to help us later on, not just for Houston versus Texans. So if he doesn't play, I definitely understand. And I do not think that the Lions can't win without Smith versus Houston. That's just my take on it. Mr. My City says Lions minus 185, Texas plus 150 currently. That's the line. I asked Foster. I asked for the line for the game today. What do you think about that line, Foster?
I don't know anything about those types.
That's why I asked you because I don't know.
I can tell who's got the advantage and who's favored to win and who's favored to lose. But as far as the numbers mean nothing to me.
Yeah. Who's favored?
The Lions are favored.
Okay. So. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we play anybody where if we played anybody this week outside of Kansas City, we'd be favored to win. Now, if you had Kansas City coming to Detroit, I think you favor Detroit to win. Just my opinion. But I think Vegas would not have us as underdogs at home versus Kansas City. And besides, the last time we faced them in Kansas City, we won. So there will be no reason to have them beating us because they haven't been exactly blowing teams out the water. They've had some very, very narrow wins.
And they've been banged up. I mean, so have we. But
I think we all have had injuries, but with the Lions, it's every year there's at least every game there's one key player that's not been playing. Every game there's that person that's not going to play, that's not going to suit up. If you want to go back, J-Mo the last 2 games. You know what I'm saying? I think there was Zietler, offensive guard, didn't play a game. Yeah. And speaking of which, the offensive line. I meant to ask you this earlier, Foster. With Taylor Decker not playing, I think you go to Dan Skipper at offensive tackle. I don't know if they're going to move him to right tackle and move Panay to the left tackle. I personally wouldn't do that. It just depends on Skipper's strengths. If he can play left tackle, then you do so. But how do you think Skipper will hold up as a starter today?
I don't know. I feel like he's always been viewed as kind of shaky, but a guy that you can kind of depend on to play a number of positions. One guy that I would look out for is a guy that we activated today, Jamarco Jones, who was originally drafted by the oh my god, he last played for Tennessee, um, but he's played 36 games in his career, including 7 starts, and he was waived by Tennessee this summer after a number of fights in training camp, including one against their All-Pro defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons. So I didn't read, yeah, I didn't read too deeply into it, but he's a guy that has a lot of experience, and he was competing for a starting right tackle position in camp. And we like to get guys from Tennessee for whatever reason. Obviously, um, one of our former coaches, our defensive line coach, came from Tennessee, but he's a guy to keep an eye out on. And it's very possible, like you said, that we could be moving Penei Sewell to that blind spot position, and then putting one of the other guys in at that right tackle spot. But yeah, just something to look out for. Um, but yeah, as far as the other keys to the game, well, protection, absolutely. That's kind of that's gonna kind of the main piece to focus on. But keep in mind, once again, I talked about it on Wednesday. We are third in the league in points allowed, averaging only 17 points a game, despite the amount of yards that we give up. We know that we're going to give up some yards, but our red zone defense is also fourth in the NFL. So once we get, as long as there's in a long pass play beyond the red zone, once they get into the red zone, we tighten up and make things difficult for them. We take the ball away, and if we can continue, continue to be productive in that area of the field, we should be setting ourselves up for another opportunity to win.
Yeah, I agree.
And help is on the way. Of course, our secondary is one area that we'd like to improve in, and with Mosley and Iffy, uh, you know, you know, I want to say Iffy was a full participant in practice. Yes, he's a full
Yes.
participant in practice. Actually, both of them, him and Mosley, are full participants in practice. They should be ready to go in the incoming weeks. So we're only going to get stronger. I don't even know. Well, I think where you see a random what is the guy's name from the Bears? Oh, Kendall. When you see the random Kendall Vildor sightings and the random Khalil Dorsey sightings, that's where you're gonna see Iffy and Mosley slowly moved into those roles, and we know to what extent. For certain, we know to what extent Iffy can make an impact. That the blitzing game, we know Aaron Glenn likes to blitz, and Iffy has been a specialist in that category.
Yeah, and then when you have Iffy, you can in those blitz packages, you can move branch to your nickel. Uh Dime situations, you can have Branch and Robinson out there and have Iffy out there as well. It's just more athleticism when you add Iffy.
More
Um,
size too.
and size, yeah. Mr. My City says Lions are favored pretty high. We would be favored against KC for sure. I'm still more worried about Baltimore than Kansas City. What do y'all think about Washington? Uh, Anytime, as far as Baltimore, anytime you have a quarterback as mobile and dangerous, that worries me as far as any kind of defense, especially ours. a quarterback that can make plays with his feet, quarterback that has plays designed for him, run RPOs, stuff like that. That worries me about the Lions. As far as Washington, I think they're a little green. Um, I do think the quarterback he's going to do what he's going to do. I do think I wouldn't be too concerned about them. I've seen the couple of losses that they've had, and there are some glaring weaknesses there. They beat Chicago on a Hail Mary.
I was going to say, for all intents and purposes, they lost at home. They nearly, I won't say they lost. I'll say for all intents and purposes, they nearly lost at home to the Bears.
On a Hail Mary.
Yeah, on the last.
So they're not scary good. They're just surprisingly good. Let me say that if that makes any sense. They're not scary good. Baltimore is scary good. The levels that the potential they have to be when they have played to be good, but Baltimore has also dropped a couple of duds here and there. But Derrick Henry, and the quarterback Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, that offense is scary. It can be scary. Bateman at the other, and their tight end.
2 tight ends deep. They got Likely and Mark Andrews. But I feel like they're a little down on defense this year. They gave up a lot.
They're not. The defense isn't as good as it was last year, and I think it'll be a shootout if playing each other. I would be more concerned about Baltimore over Kansas City, even though Kansas City beat them first game of the season.
And that was on a shoestring. You remember his cleats were just a size too big. Otherwise, he would have scored that touchdown. So
Mr. My City says, off topic, did y'all do a post game after the Hawks game? I missed it. We did a show yesterday morning. Yesterday morning. I was too, be honest, Mr. My City, I was pissed off. I know we won the game, but
I was gonna say we won. We didn't win.
I was in no shape to do a show. It would have got ugly because I was pissed off. I was happy we won, but I was pissed off. And I had, a little too much to drink to do a show by myself. You know what I'm saying? I needed, and I would have needed a co-host if I'd have went live after the game. Mike Marker 301 says, hey guys, going to see some physical football. I have never seen Mike Marker, so I would like to Mile Marker, I've never seen you before, and I want to say thank you for being here. Appreciate your comment. Salute. We're definitely going to see some physical football today. Definitely. I think the Texans are a physical football team. We pride ourselves on physicality and playing in the trenches. I think we're going to see a physical football game. Mr. Micey said, I feel you, a dub's a dub. Yes. But we talked about the Pistons at length yesterday morning, and go check that show out. It's if you subscribe to Bleachers Speakers on YouTube, you can go see it. We talked about the Pistons in their first 10 games and how grueling of a schedule it was. And me and Foster predicted like 4-6, maybe 3-7, and they're 4-6 and right on par. Foster made a statement yesterday about how long it took to get four wins this year as opposed to last year. We got 4 wins in November this year. We got our 4th win in January last year. So I can't be more pleased at 4-6 than I ever have been in my life. Mile Marker says, but subbed and like, share every time. Man, I appreciate that more than anything, man. Definitely, we need more people to subscribe, like, and share. And I appreciate you for every time you've done it. Foster, you got any predictions for tonight?
You're always making my head hurt.
I always do this, right? I got a prediction. You don't even have to say nothing. I got a prediction.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say Detroit Lions, 31-17.
Hey, I was gonna say 31-21.
I mean, usually when I say it, I'm on par. So yeah, not to brag or anything, but when I say a score, it's pretty much in that ballpark.
Well, one time, what was that Tennessee game where we had 31 at halftime or something like that?
Oh man, I was so frustrated with that game too, man. Like the first quarter where Tennessee was driving the ball like crazy, and I'm like, what the heck is going on, Rudolph? I know, not you, Rudolph. Anybody but you.
I think he had a good game following that too.
Yeah. But you know what? You gotta remember though, he was a starter at Pittsburgh
Playoff quarterback.
and he has his experience. So hey, it is what it is. Mr. My City says my prediction is at least one team in Houston is losing tonight. And I'm gonna do you one better. The Pistons will beat the Rockets today as well. What time is that game, Foster?
3:30, I believe.
Okay. So my next questions was, what do you do when today waiting on the Lions to play at 8 o'clock at night? Well, I'm gonna tell you what. There's a few options. You do have your 1 o'clock football games, right? If you don't find any of those of interest, Michigan basketball plays Wake Forest. They have 5 new people on the court and a new coach. So if you're just curious to what they look like, you can tune into them today. You can also watch the Pistons at what, 3:30 you say? After the Pistons game, it'll be about 6:30, and you can start getting your food and snacks ready for 8 o'clock. That'll take you all the way up to the game. So, there's plenty of stuff on the agenda to do until the game. It's just that I don't like waiting till 8 o'clock, but there's plenty of stuff to do. So I'm going to occupy my time. I'm going to chop the show up. I'm going to get it on megaphone as soon as we get done. And I'm going to try to relax and enjoy the day. I did a bunch of stuff yesterday. So many things to do for the house and for the family. So don't nobody want to ask me for anything today. I'm prepared for the day. I forgot to come get my shirt though.
Your shirt.
Yeah. From you.
Oh, yeah.
I was Foster. Yesterday was one of them days, bro. I told you I had been up since 4 o'clock in the morning running around. Like it was one of those days, man. One of them days. Mr. My City says, watch the Pistons, then watch the post game, then watch Downtown Deuce talk about it, then look to see if y'all did anything, then watch my Lions. More than likely, I'm just gonna put this out here. Foster gets extra excited when the Pistons win.
Oh, here we go.
So more than likely, okay, I'm gonna tell you why I say this stuff, Foster. So I'm chilling yesterday. What day was that? That was Friday. I'm chilling Friday. And next thing you know, I get an alert, halftime report for the Pistons. Foster then did a halftime show. We was up like 25 at one point in the first half, up 13, 14 points at half. So, Foster gets happy and goes live about the Pistons. So I'm willing to bet that he goes live when the Pistons win. And if you do, Foster, hit me up. I'll be watching the game. I don't have too much to do today. So hit me up. I may join. Matter of fact, I got everything up and running. I'm not going to turn anything off except the camera. So it's just nothing for me to just jump on. I might turn the computer off, but other than that, all the lights and stuff stay on. So, yeah, there's plenty of stuff to do. We may or may not do a Pistons show. It just depends. If the Pistons do really well, I got a feeling you're going to see us. You never know. We do have a Central Division Showdown show we're hosting tomorrow, and that's with representatives from Chicago Bulls, Cleveland, We're still looking for a Milwaukee Bucks representative and a Pacer representative. So if you're interested in doing a podcast on any of those teams, we can't be friends, but we can definitely do business because I don't mess with the ops. But yeah, tune in for that. Monday night at 8:00, we'll be doing a Central. We need all our Pistons fans to join us because we're in there with other people. We need that full representation, and it's me and Foster's turn to host. So we're definitely going to, and you know, Foster, I was trying to put together a thumbnail that represented all the teams. Forget them. It's just us. They're going to have to, it's my show. I'm hosting. They're going to get a Pistons thumbnail for the show, and that's it. They're going to have to, when they share the show, that's what they're going to have to do. Now, I'll send them the video. They can put their own thumbnail on. But it is what it is. Let's see. Mr. Mike said the Bucks people don't want to talk right now. You know what? And for good reason. But the thing is, they got Giannis back. And with him playing, they're a different team. They played the other night, and the whole team looked good. They look good. They'll be back. They'll be back. So, Foster, you got anything to say before we wrap this up and get out of here?
Let's get this done, man. Houston, we have a problem.
You usually put a bow on this, but I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? That'll work. It works. Subscribe to Bleachers Speakers on YouTube.
Get your lick back. If a nugget owe you something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat. Stop letting this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. Get your lick back. If a nugget owe you something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat. Stop letting this shit slide and get your lick back.